Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Okay, so this week I'm making focaccia. Focaccia is an Italian bread, very similar to pizza, but it's thicker. Normally served as an accompaniment to like an antipasto. I quite like it opened up and filled with nice fillings as a use as a sandwich. You can use it to dunk in soups and stews. Also, you can put some nice toppings on it. Some sun-dried tomatoes or olives or anything you like really. Today I'm just going to top it with some finely chopped rosemary. Again, you're making focaccia, same idea as if you're making a pizza. You want to get yourself a good strong flour. I've managed to get my hands on this Allison's. It's very strong white flour. It's got a very high protein content of 14 grams, perfect. I always think the higher the protein content, the better for the bread. Okay, so to make the dough, we're going to start off with 375 grams of the strong flour, just right in the middle of the board. I'm going to make a well. Okay, so once you've made your well, we've got 7 grams of salt. Just don't put that in the well, just put that at the side of the flour. Then we've also got 20 grams of fresh yeast. So I'm just going to mix this up with 240 millilitres of water. I'm just going to mix this up until the yeast is dispersed in the water. Okay, so once our yeast is dispersed in the water, put that straight into your well. Then you just want to add, I've also got 5 grams of extra virgin olive oil. Just put that straight in. Then you just want to start mixing the flour in, but do it from the inside. Don't be tempted to work it from the outside, because otherwise your water is just going to go everywhere. You just keep mixing that. Keep mixing that in until you get a kind of bit of consistency. Okay, so once you start to get a bit of consistency here, you want to start bringing the flour in from the outside and the salt as well. Get it all in. And just both hands, and just kind of bring this together. So you're basically just trying to pick up all the bits of flour off the board. Okay, so we're going to mix this for a good 10 minutes. So basically you want to try and stretch the dough. So you can be quite rough on it. So just kind of grab it here, pull it, stretch it, turn it over. Same again, hold it, pull it, stretch it, turn it over. And just keep doing this for about 10 minutes. Okay, so we're working our dough for about 10 minutes now. So I'm just going to roll it into kind of ball shaped. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to just put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the bowl and brush it with a bit of kitchen paper. And I'm going to put the dough in the bowl. And I'm going to cover this with cling film and let this rest for about 2 hours. Okay, so while we're waiting for our dough to prove, I'm just going to get a tray. I'm just going to brush it with a little bit of olive oil. This is just going to stop it from sticking. So just a little bit of olive oil in the tray. Just rub that in. Okay, so I've got some fresh rosemary here, so I'm just going to pick the leaves off this, finely chop it, and I'm going to put this on the focaccia just before it goes in the oven. Okay, so once that's finely chopped, we'll just put that to the side. I've dusted the bowl with a little bit of flour, so I'm now just going to get my dough and just knock it back a little bit. So it's flour on the board, we've got a little bit more flour on top. Just gonna basically just knocking the air out of this. This will give the bread a better texture. Okay, and now we're ready to let the dough rest again for about another hour. So we're just going to put that back in the bowl. Okay, so our dough has now been resting for another hour. So I've just dusted the board with a little bit of flour. I'm just going to carefully put the dough in the flour. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to stretch the dough. Just try not to tear the dough. So what you'll find is once you've stretched out the dough, when you leave it, it might come back in a bit. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to leave this for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stretch it again. But in the meantime, while you leave it, just cover it with some cling film. Okay, so I've just let this rest for about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to take the cling film off. I'm just going to give it another little stretch before I put it in the tray. Okay, so I think that's about ready just to go into the tray now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to lift the dough up and get it onto the tray. Straight onto the tray. Then just with your fingers, just press it. This is going to give it a nice texture, a nice kind of rustic texture. And I'm going to get a really nice extra virgin olive oil. I think it's important that you use a nice extra virgin olive oil just to give it a nicer flavour. Just drizzle that on top. And the rosemary that we chopped earlier. And here I've got some Malden salt. This is really nice, gives it a nice crunch. But if you can't get Malden salt, you can use rock salt. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to cover this with cling film, and I'm going to let it prove for another half an hour before we put it in the oven. Okay, so our focaccia has been resting now for half an hour. It's proved. We're going to bake this in an oven at 210 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously if you don't have a fan oven, then it's 210 degrees. If it's a fan oven, I would say 200 degrees. And you want to cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until it goes golden brown and crispy on top. Okay, so our focaccia has been in the oven now for about 12 to 15 minutes. So we're just going to take this out of the tray and onto a wire rack, just to cool down. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give it the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.